Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today guys, I have a lot of things to cover, so I would just like to dive in. I don't want to waste anybody's time today, so let's just cover the things that we have not talked about. This video is coming a bit later than it should come, but bear with me, I'm still trying to settle in and do all those kind of stuff. Okay, so let's talk about first, let's talk about bills, because I've had people ask me oh, which one is cheaper, bills in the UK or bills in Canada? Honestly, you guys already know by now that your bills will depend on your usage, right? But generally speaking, when it comes to stuff like when it comes to water, and this is my opinion based on where I'm living, based on my usage and all, comparing what I'm doing now to what I had before when I was in the UK. When it comes to water, I think that the water bill in the UK is cheaper than it is in Canada. However, when you consider electricity, I think that electricity in Canada is cheaper because you guys already know the weather here, right? So you have to run your heating. My house even has a central heating. If I try running, or if I had tried to run my heating in the UK, the number of hours that I do here is like all round, right? But the bill is still not bad compared to what we were doing in the UK. In the UK, we had to it wasn't central, so you have to put off some rooms if you're not in that room, just to minimize your cost. And even at that, it was still not funny towards 2023 beginning, last year beginning, right? When we just moved to the UK, the bill was so much less. It was way better. But after those increased rates that they did, those increased rates that they gave us, I think they did the increments in batches or installments. But right now, when you compare what Canada has to what the UK has currently, I would say that electricity is cheaper in Canada than UK based on my experience. Okay, so another thing that I may mention under this will be like data or phone bills. For sure, it is more expensive in Canada. Data is more affordable in the UK. Like phone bill, I remember when I came here, I think for my phone line, and then how much, I think it was maybe like 2 gig or some ridiculous amount, I paid $70. But you guys already know that in the UK this will be about maybe 10 pounds or something in that area. Because if you wanted to do, now I'm not even just talking about like broadband or that, I'm talking about like your phone data. In fact, both phone data and broadband, your home Wi-Fi and all that, it is cheaper in the UK than what you get in Canada. Okay, so that's for bills. Another thing I want to mention in this video is education for your kids, because a lot of people who will be relocating with kids, that is one of their major concerns. Or will my children be able to get schools on time, or will they get into schools the moment we touch down Canada, and all those kind of questions. Honestly, I feel like it's it depends on the area that you are. Okay, for us, we had to be on the we had to be on the wait list for a while, so my kids couldn't go to school immediately we touched down Canada. And that is common for a lot of people. In the UK now, it's becoming worse because of population, but I remember that when we had just moved to the UK, it was pretty easy to get the kids into schools. Okay, and another thing to mention is that here they start their kindergarten at 5, which is what we call foundation in the UK. So your kids don't go to school until they are 5, and even at that age, it's still not full time, right? It's still maybe 3 days a week, depending on how they do it in the school that they attend. So keep that in mind. If you have kids that are younger than 5, just know that you'll be paying out of your pocket. But the good thing is that some of these daycares that you enroll your children into, you may be able to claim it back. Their whole financial system runs differently here. That is a whole different topic. But just know that if you have kids that are below 5, they can't start school. And if you need to enroll them, then you have to pay from your pocket. Okay. Now, another thing that is also very common here is what you call independent schools. It's mostly like they're Christian schools, right? So for a lot of people, they have a lot of those schools here. I don't think we have as much in the UK, because even in Sheffield, I think I didn't hear, or maybe one. When you hear of private schools, they're the very expensive private schools. However, here there is like the normal private schools. And when I say normal, let's say you're paying about, it depends, right? So sometimes you may pay from like 300 to like 500 a month for those kind of schools, which means that in a session, which is your year, you can be paying maybe like 4,000, 3,000, 5,000 Canadian dollars per year, right? So those schools are not free. A lot of them are Christian schools, but they are not so expensive. So people who can afford them would rather put their kids in those kind of schools other than being on the wait list for such a long time. But if you do get like a space where you are, of course your children can go to school free, right? If they're going to a government school. But for various reasons, parents can decide, oh, I want my child to attend this other kind of schools, and then they can pay for the education that their children will be getting in those schools. Okay, yes, so that is something to mention. Point number 3 that I'll be talking about is job opportunities. If you guys can tell, I'm trying to put everything together because I believe that our series has stayed for a long time. So let's just wrap it up, okay? Talking about job opportunities, are there job opportunities in Canada? This question is not just for Canada, it's everywhere. So some people are lucky enough to get jobs the moment they come to a new place, while some people have to wait a while to get jobs. You will still have like casual jobs available if you want to do that, but if you're looking for your professional jobs, for some people you have to stay at home or do something else for a while before you get it. While some people are lucky to get it immediately they come in, some other people are even lucky to get it before they come in, right? So it's not a, is it Canada or is it the UK thing? It's everywhere. It just depends on grace, it depends on your location, it depends on your occupation and all that. Now let me mention here that if you're coming to Canada, the province that you're going to also matters. Okay, an example that I want to use now is for nursing. So you know how they tell you, oh, they need nurses in Canada, and some people just want to leave the UK or live wherever they are and just run to Canada. You need to know that not all types of nursing is practiced in all provinces. And an example is like your mental nursing. So if you're a mental nurse and you're just trying to relocate to anywhere in Canada, you need to go and do your research, because you cannot practice in all the provinces in Canada as a mental nurse, as a someone who is doing mental nursing. Yes. So you do need to do your research properly before you come to Canada, or before you decide to start making that move to relocate to Canada because you think there are more opportunities or they pay better in Canada. Now, for other professions, there are also some provinces that you see a particular career type prevalent in. I know that this doesn't apply to everyone or to every category or to every career, but you also need to have that in mind. We live in Manitoba. I happen to be in the tech industry, right? And Manitoba is not somewhere that is known for tech. There are still tech jobs, right? But you will not compare it to the opportunities that Ontario has when it comes to tech, you know. So stuff like that are things that you need to keep in mind depending on what you're doing, the industry that you're in. It may be nice to, you know, factor that in before you consider whatever you're trying to do, if you're trying to move and all that. Okay, yes, so these are the things that I wanted to mention. The other things you can ask me in the comment area and comment section, and I will answer you if I have the answers that you're looking for. Of course, I'll tell you. So the bottom line, guys, is there's no one place is better than the other place. In this series, you will see that some points Canada has it, and then some points the UK is better. Okay, so it's an individual thing. It's your preference. It's the life that you want for yourself. However, oh, this is an important thing to mention. I need to state that, in my opinion, the one of the most important things to note is that the permit that you are on makes the difference. Okay, so it's not enough to just say I'm just going to Canada. What permit are you going to be on? Because that will determine the kind of benefits that you get. We're on the student visa when we moved to the UK, but here we have the PR, so of course you cannot really compare. You're also able to get some benefits because we're on the PR. Okay, so stuff like the child benefits, stuff like what's it called, all them climate allowance and some benefits that they give here, you can get that if you're a permanent resident. So it's also important to note that just because you're moving to Canada doesn't mean you enjoy all the benefits that every other person is getting. The permit that you enter Canada with matters. Okay, so if you have a sponsored job, because I know that some people are making this decision now, you have a sponsored job in the UK, but you feel like everybody's moving to Canada, maybe Canada is better, or maybe we should just do like a student visa and move to Canada, and you expect that you get all the benefits that your friend who is on the PR in Canada is getting, it will not be so. So be sure that you know what you're leaving and what you'll be getting before you make that move. Okay, that's something to note. The permit that you come into Canada with or that you're in the UK with can make the difference of the life that you get there or the benefits that you're entitled to. That is a very important factor to note. Okay, just do a well-rounded research, guys. Don't just jump and just follow anybody. Please, before you make the move, ensure that you have the right information that you need. Ensure that you've asked the questions. Like I mentioned, you can put your questions in the comment area, and if I have answers to that, I'll answer that. Speaking of which, please, if you have not joined the channel, subscribe right now by clicking on the subscribe button. It is black on your screen, and give this video a thumbs up because it does help. And yeah, if you want to share this with your friends and your loved ones, please do. Thank you guys for spending today with me and listening to my TED Talk. I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, bye guys.